All right, let's jump into this. We're looking at Aaron Montgomery's Fundamentals of Business Success.
Oh, yeah.
And this ebook is really packed with great advice for building a small business that is profitable and enjoyable.
Yeah.
We were talking about not just chasing profits,
Right.
but creating something you love.
I think it's refreshing to see that approach.
Yeah.
Because so much business advice focuses on squeezing every penny and maximizing output, and oftentimes at the expense of the owner's well-being.
Totally. And Montgomery reminds us that joy and fulfillment are equally important metrics.
Absolutely.
For success.
Yeah.
And he lays this all out with this really interesting framework, the 3 Ps, plant, prepare, and pollinate.
I like it.
And the first stage, plant, really focuses on introspection, understanding your why, your core values.
Yep.
Have you ever sat down and really defined those for your business?
It's something that I think a lot of people skip over. It's so crucial, though.
It is.
Once you have that clarity, it's like the foundation before you build a house.
Totally.
And Montgomery even tweaks the classic formula.
Oh, yeah.
E plus AS.
Right.
To emphasize this personal ownership.
It's true. It shifts the focus from outside events to your actions.
Exactly. And it's not just any action. It's about acknowledging the events you can't control.
Right.
But focusing on what you can do to shape your success.
So instead of feeling like a victim of circumstance, you're the architect of your own journey.
I love that.
And that shift in mindset really leads to the next fundamental.
Okay.
Becoming a goal-getter, not just a setter.
This is where so many people get stuck.
Right.
We've all written down goals.
Yeah.
Maybe we made vision boards, but then
totally.
What do we do?
Right, like having a map, but never leaving the house.
Exactly. Montgomery encourages us to use those goals to activate the law of attraction, drawing resources and opportunities towards us.
Interesting.
Really internalizing those goals.
Yeah.
Truly believing in their possibility.
So it's like the believing is part of it.
Absolutely.
Not just like, wishful thinking.
Right. And he even provides this framework, MTO, minimum, target, outrageous.
I love that.
To help visualize those different levels of achievement.
It breaks down those big, scary goals into smaller steps.
Exactly. It's like setting up base camps along the way to the summit.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves, Montgomery throws in this really interesting curveball. Talking about securing your own oxygen mask first, like on an airplane before helping others.
It's a powerful metaphor.
Yeah.
And so many of us in the small business world especially, we prioritize everyone else's needs before our own.
Yes.
You're constantly giving. Montgomery reminds us that we can't pour from an empty cup.
Right. And that's not selfish.
Right.
That's strategic.
Exactly.
By pursuing our own desires and goals. Yeah. We're actually better equipped to serve others.
Yes.
It's like filling our own well so we have an abundance to share.
I love that.
So this leads us nicely into the prepare cycle.
Okay.
Where we're getting everything in order. What stands out to you about this stage?
I think the emphasis on building a strong team.
Okay.
Even if it's not, a traditional team of employees.
Right.
Montgomery highlights that success is a team sport, even for solopreneurs.
Totally.
Think about your own business.
Yeah.
Who are the key players on your team?
Okay.
Maybe it's mentors, advisors, virtual assistants.
Yeah.
Even your most loyal customers.
We often think of teams in terms of hiring.
Yeah.
But it's really about recognizing we don't have to go it alone.
Absolutely.
And one of the most practical ways to build this team, according to Montgomery, is by creating clear job descriptions.
Yes, even for yourself.
Even for yourself.
That's right. Even if you wear all the hats in your business, having that clarity of purpose, responsibilities, goals, and qualifications for your own role.
It can be really helpful.
It can be incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
It's about knowing what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're going to measure success.
It's like creating a roadmap.
Yes.
For your own journey within the business.
Exactly.
And once you have that clarity for yourself, it becomes much easier to identify where you might need support from others.
It helps pinpoint those gaps where you might need to bring in an accountant, a marketing expert, or even just a friend.
Right, a fresh perspective.
Exactly. But building a team isn't always smooth sailing.
Of course not.
Montgomery also dives into the challenges of managing different opinions and potential conflicts, which every entrepreneur faces.
Yes.
Whether their team is big or small.
Absolutely. We've all seen those business partnerships go sour,
Right, because of personality clashes or disagreements.
Yeah, about direction. What I found helpful was Montgomery's focus on clear communication and agreements.
Yes, from the outset.
From the get-go.
Right. It's not about avoiding conflict.
Right.
Because that's unrealistic.
Yeah, any relationship.
But it's about having a framework
Yeah.
for handling disagreements constructively.
So it's like setting ground rules for those tough conversations.
Absolutely. And he actually shares a personal anecdote about a previous business partnership where a lack of clarity led to a strained relationship.
It really highlights how important those agreements and communication strategies are.
It does. It's a reminder that even with the best of intentions, things can go wrong if we don't have that foundation.
You don't have that foundation.
A clear communication.
And speaking of foundations, let's move into the marketing aspect of the prepare cycle.
Right.
What were your key takeaways?
Montgomery really emphasizes laying a strong marketing foundation before jumping into specific tactics.
Yeah.
He talks about defining your niche, which can be really hard.
It's so
for small business owners.
Right.
You want to be everything to everyone.
You do.
But we've heard that that's a recipe for disaster.
1,000,000 times.
And it is when you try to please everyone.
Yeah.
You end up pleasing no one.
So true.
When you try to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing to no one.
It's like trying to cook a dish.
Yes.
That everyone at a potluck will love.
Right. You'll end up with something bland and unmemorable.
Exactly. And he provides 5 categories for defining your niche.
Okay.
Product, price, placement, promotion, and service.
So it's about getting specific.
Getting specific.
Instead of just selling T-shirts,
Great.
You might be selling eco-friendly T-shirts made from recycled materials.
All right. Or like T-shirts for dog lovers.
Exactly. Yeah. That added specificity helps you target the market.
Right.
That cares about those values.
Who are those people?
Exactly.
Yes. And speaking of pricing, Montgomery really stresses the importance of understanding the value you bring to the table and pricing accordingly.
He cautions against competing solely on price.
Yes.
Because it can devalue your expertise and lead to burnout.
Absolutely.
Instead, he advocates for market value pricing.
Okay.
Which takes into account your cost and the perceived value you offer.
So it's not just crunching numbers, but understanding the psychology of your ideal customer.
How do they perceive the value? What are they willing to pay?
It's a shift from just covering costs to positioning yourself strategically in the market.
Absolutely.
Think about your own business. How can you articulate the unique value you provide?
That's a great question to ponder.
It is. And to help us further clarify this, Montgomery dives into the power of storytelling.
Ooh, I like this.
Using the hero's journey framework.
Okay.
Have you ever considered applying this to your own business?
I thought about it, but I haven't really tried it out.
Okay, so he uses this example of a struggling gift shop, whose initial brand story was something like, we sell unique and thoughtful gifts.
Okay, kind of generic?
Very generic.
Yeah.
But by reframing their story, using the hero's journey, they were able to connect with their audience on a deeper level.
How so?
So they identified their ideal customer as the busy, stressed-out gift giver who's struggling to find the perfect present.
Okay, yeah.
So the gift shop became the guide, helping them overcome that feeling of overwhelm and the fear of choosing the wrong gift.
So they're the mentor in a way.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
And their curated selection.
Right.
And exceptional customer service became the tools that led the hero to success.
Okay.
That feeling of relief and joy that comes from giving a gift that is truly appreciated.
I like that.
It resonates so much more than just stating what they sell.
It's a powerful reminder that even the smallest business can benefit from a compelling brand story.
It's not just for those big corporations with fancy marketing teams.
It's about connecting with your audience on an emotional level.
Absolutely.
Sharing your why and showing how your business can help them achieve their own goals.
And that brings us to the end of the prepare cycle.
All right.
So we've laid the groundwork for success by understanding our why.
Yeah.
building a strong team, defining our niche, crafting a compelling brand story, and positioning ourselves strategically in the market.
That's a lot.
But before we jump into the Pollinate cycle, there's one more crucial, fundamental.
Hit me with it.
The numbers game.
Ah, yes, the numbers.
The numbers.
The side of business that can feel daunting.
For some of us more than others.
Especially for us creative types.
Right.
But Montgomery emphasizes that understanding your business numbers is key.
To profitability?
Yeah, and long-term success.
And you don't have to be a math whiz.
No, you don't.
To grasp the basics.
Montgomery starts by highlighting the importance of calculating your overhead rate, which is essentially the cost of keeping your business stores open regardless of sales.
So it's like the baseline cost of running your business.
Exactly.
It includes things like rent,
utilities, insurance, your own salary.
Okay, your own salary. That's important.
It is. Yeah, and he provides a step-by-step guide to identifying your direct and indirect costs. To help you determine how much you need to generate per hour or per product. Just to cover those basic expenses.
Which is so important for pricing your products or services effectively.
It is. You want to make sure you're not just breaking even, but actually making a profit.
Have you ever fallen into the trap of using those arbitrary pricing formulas?
Oh, yeah, like ×3 or just adding a certain percentage. Montgomery cautions against those because they don't accurately reflect your unique business expenses or the value that you provide.
So instead, he advocates for a more nuanced approach.
Yes, it's called market value pricing. It's about aligning your pricing with the value you offer.
So we touched upon this earlier when we were talking about niche-man branding. But here it comes into play in a really practical sense.
It does. It's about understanding what your ideal customer is willing to pay for the solution you provide.
So it's not about being the cheapest option, but about positioning yourself strategically.
Exactly.
And attracting those customers who value what you offer.
Absolutely.
It's empowering to think of pricing as a strategic tool.
Yes.
Not just this necessary evil.
And Montgomery provides some tactics for increasing perceived value.
Oh, great. Like what?
Like personalization, branding, and focusing on benefits over features.
So it's not just about what it is, but what it does for them.
Exactly. It's about showcasing the so what for your customer.
Okay, I like that.
How does your product or service make their life better?
Yeah.
How does it solve their problem or help them achieve their goals?
That's such a good question.
Think about your own offerings. How can you highlight those benefits in a way that resonates with your ideal customer?
That's a great point because we get so caught up.
We do.
In like the features and we forget about the benefits. So that's a great question to consider.
It is.
But managing our finances isn't just about pricing. It's also about managing our most valuable resource, time.
Ooh, time management.
Yes.
Yeah, such a good one.
Montgomery dedicates a whole fundamental to time management.
Well, it's important. We all have the same 24 hours. But how we use them can make all the difference.
And he introduces this great analogy that I think a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to. The jar filled with rocks, gravel, sand, and water.
I like this already.
So imagine trying to fit all of those things into a jar. If you start with the sand and water, there's no room for the rocks. But if you put the big rocks in first, the smaller stuff naturally fills in the gaps.
So that's how we should approach our time.
Exactly. The big rocks are the tasks that are most important.
To our long-term goals.
Yes.
I love that.
So think about your own business. What are your big rocks?
Well, for me, it would be things like creating content, building relationships with potential clients.
Those are the things that need to go in your jar first.
Absolutely. And then I can fill in the gaps with the smaller stuff, like answering emails or...
the little things. It's a good reminder to prioritize effectively.
Yes.
And not get bogged down in those day-to-day things. And to help us do this, Montgomery suggests creating a time budget.
Time budget.
Yeah, just like we budget our money. We need to budget our time.
It makes sense.
And by tracking how we actually spend our hours, we can identify where we're wasting time on tasks that don't really matter.
So it's about becoming aware of our habits and then making intentional choices.
Exactly.
About how we allocate our time.
And Montgomery also warns against the dangers of focusing on vanity metrics.
Oh, vanity metrics. Those are the data points that might look impressive.
Yeah, but they don't actually correlate to business growth.
Think about your own business. What are some of the metrics you're currently tracking? Are they truly driving your business forward, or are they just making you feel good?
Because we get so caught up.
We do.
In likes and followers and website traffic.
But if those aren't translating into sales or engagement, they're not serving us.
It's about looking beyond those surface level numbers.
Right.
And focusing on the metrics that actually matter.
Exactly. It's about measuring the things that are tied to your goals and using that data to make informed decisions.
This is so important.
It is.
Because it's so easy to get caught up in those numbers.
I know.
And lose sight of what truly matters.
It happens to the best of us.
But by focusing on the key drivers of our business, we can make sure that we're making progress towards our goals.
Exactly.
And not just spinning our wheels.
And to ensure that progress, Montgomery dives into another fundamental that's all about streamlining your operations.
Okay.
And freeing up your time.
Okay, this is a good one.
Systematic processes.
This is where things get a little tricky for some of us. The creative type.
We shy away from structure and systems.
But Montgomery makes a really compelling case.
He does.
For why they are essential.
For any business.
Yeah, big or small.
So he breaks it down into these 3 key areas.
Okay.
Organization and workflow.
Okay.
Production and delivery procedures. And follow-up and customer interaction.
So let's break those down, starting with organization and workflow.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this?
This is where a lot of businesses struggle, especially those run by solopreneurs.
Okay.
We're so busy doing the work that we don't put systems in place
to streamline it.
To streamline the work.
Yeah.
And Montgomery suggests starting by decluttering our workspaces. Physical and digital.
Get rid of all the stuff.
Get rid of it all.
That we don't need.
If it's not serving you, let it go.
It's about creating a clear system.
Yes.
For managing our time, our tasks, and our resources.
Have you ever felt overwhelmed?
All the time.
By the sheer volume of stuff
you
have to deal with?
Every day.
That's why having a system is so important.
Yeah.
It takes the guesswork out of our day-to-day operations
Totally.
and allows us to focus on the things that matter.
So it's about creating a consistent filing system.
Yes, both physical and digital.
For everything.
For everything.
And establishing a workflow that outlines every step.
From start to finish.
It's like having that roadmap.
A roadmap for getting things done.
For getting things done.
He also encourages us to document our workflows.
Okay.
Which can help you identify areas where you can improve efficiency, reduce errors.
And even automate.
Yes, automate.
Certain tasks.
There are so many tools available these days that can help us automate things, like social media posting, email marketing, invoicing.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
And speaking of working smarter,
yeah,
let's move on to the second segment.
All right.
Production and delivery procedures.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
This is it.
The actual creation and delivery.
It's not just about having a great product or service.
Right.
But about having a smooth and efficient process for getting it to your customers.
And just like with workflow,
Yeah.
Having clear procedures for production and delivery can help streamline your operations.
Totally.
Reduce errors, improve customer satisfaction.
So Montgomery stresses mapping out each step.
Whether it's sourcing materials, quality control, packaging, shipping.
Even if you're a one-person show.
Even if you are.
Having those documented procedures.
Can be so helpful.
I think so too, because it just takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah. It ensures consistency.
Yeah.
Reduces errors.
Reduces error.
And ensures a high-quality product. Every time.
So it's about creating a system that supports you.
Supports and enhances your work.
And not stifling your creativity.
Yes, exactly.
And speaking of creating a positive experience for your customers, the final segment of systematic processes focuses on follow-up and customer interaction.
This is where you build those relationships that lead to loyalty and repeat business.
It's not just about sending a thank you note. It's about nurturing those relationships.
Over time.
Over time.
So Montgomery suggests creating a schedule for follow-up.
Okay.
Whether it's through email, phone calls, even handwritten notes.
Oh, handwritten notes. Those are nice.
They are.
It's about going the extra mile.
To make your customers feel valued.
Yeah.
He also talks about personalizing your communication.
Okay.
Remembering details about your customer.
The personal touch.
Yeah, making them feel like more than just a transaction.
Right.
It's about building genuine connections.
And don't underestimate the power of packaging and presentation.
Packaging, yes.
It's the first physical touch point your customer has.
With your brand.
With your brand.
Make it count.
So think about your own packaging. Does it reflect your brand values?
Does it create a positive unboxing experience?
This is making me rethink my whole approach.
Me too.
To packaging.
It's not just a necessary expense.
Right.
It's a valuable opportunity.
To make that impression.
To reinforce your brand and create a memorable experience.
Totally.
So that brings us to the end of the numbers game.
Okay.
And systematic processes fundamentals.
Wow. We've covered a lot.
We have from understanding your why and setting goals.
That building a team and laying that marketing foundation.
We delved into the world of numbers.
The scary numbers.
Emphasizing the importance of pricing strategically.
Yes.
Managing time effectively.
And implementing systematic processes.
Yeah.
It's been quite a journey so far.
It has.
But Montgomery doesn't stop there.
Oh, no?
He delves into the emotional side of business.
This is where it gets...
Emphasizing the importance of managing fear and taking action.
I can't wait to hear about this.
And this is where we'll pick up in part 2 of our deep dive.
All right.
So stay tuned.
I'm ready. Welcome back.
Okay, so in part 1, we laid all that groundwork for building a successful business.
We talked about mindset, planning, systems.
Yeah, and all those crucial systems.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's time to tackle the emotional side.
Ooh, yes.
Of entrepreneurship.
This is where things get real.
This is where it gets real because fear is something we all face.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something we always talk about.
Right. It can feel like a weakness.
Yeah. Montgomery, though, addresses this head on. With his 9th fundamental, conquer fear.
Okay.
And he does it in a way that's reassuring and empowering.
Yeah.
He reframes fear.
Okay.
Not as an obstacle to avoid, but as a natural part of the growth process.
I like that.
So instead of trying to eliminate fear, which is pretty much impossible,
right,
he encourages us to see it as a signal, a yield sign, prompting us to pause and reflect.
So it's like that check engine light on your emotional dashboard, telling you something needs attention.
You need to check it out.
Maybe adjust something or gather more information before proceeding.
And that pause, that taking a moment, really gives us the space to move to the next step.
Okay, what's that?
Which is to assess.
Okay.
And it's about getting specific about the fears that are holding us back.
So not just a general, I'm scared.
Right.
But identifying, is it fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown?
Have you ever done this exercise in your own business?
I have, and it's so insightful.
Yeah.
Once we name those fears, we can move to step 3.
Which is?
Plan. We develop a strategic plan for addressing those fears.
Head on.
And moving forward intentionally.
So it's about creating a roadmap.
Yes.
For navigating those challenging emotions.
And a well-thought-out plan can boost our confidence.
Totally.
And prepare us to face those fears.
But it's not about rigidly sticking to the plan, right?
You're right. That's why the 4th step is act.
Okay.
Followed by the 5th step, adjust.
So we act and then we adjust.
Exactly. We put the plan into action.
We try it out.
But remain flexible.
So it's like a dance.
Yes.
Between action and reflection.
A constant dance.
Using those fears as guideposts along the way.
Exactly. And to support us in this process, Montgomery provides some tools and techniques.
Okay, like what?
He emphasizes the importance of positive self-talk.
Oh, yeah.
Reframing those negative thoughts.
You know, instead of, I can't do this.
Right. We shift to, I'm learning how to do this.
I'll figure it out.
I'll find a way.
Yeah, it's about changing the script in our minds.
Absolutely.
Focusing on possibility instead of limitation.
He also talks about the power of visualization.
Oh, visualization.
Creating a clear mental picture.
I love visualization.
Of ourselves achieving our goals.
So instead of dwelling on those what-if scenarios.
Right. All the things that could go wrong. Yeah. We consciously choose to focus on the positive outcome.
We're creating that mental blueprint for success.
Exactly.
That our subconscious can latch onto.
I love that. And he also talks about the importance of our environment.
Oh, yeah.
Surrounding ourselves with supportive people.
That's so important.
It is a supportive network can make all the difference.
Especially when those doubts creep in.
Think about the people you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
Do they lift you up or drag you down?
Are they cheering you on or fueling those negative thoughts?
That's a really good point.
It's a powerful reminder to be mindful of the company we keep.
Yeah.
Choosing to surround ourselves with those who inspire and encourage us.
And if you encounter those who don't quite get it, Montgomery provides a helpful acronym.
What is it?
SWSWSWSW.
What does that stand for?
Some will, some won't. So what someone's waiting.
I love that.
It's a reminder that not everyone will get it, and that's okay.
Right.
There will be people who will...
Just got to find your people.
Exactly. Keep moving forward and connect with those who align with your vision.
And that leads us nicely into the 10th fundamental.
Okay.
Building a support system.
This goes hand in hand with the team building concept we discussed earlier. But it extends beyond those business collaborators.
Okay.
It's about cultivating a network of people who support our overall well-being.
As entrepreneurs.
As entrepreneurs, yes.
So he introduces this concept of a success team.
Okay.
Comprised of individuals who play different roles in our journey.
So can you elaborate on the different roles?
Yeah. So first we have mentors.
Okay.
Those who have already achieved the success we aspire to.
Right. They've been there, done that.
Yeah, and can offer guidance based on their experience.
Think about your own field.
Yeah.
Are there individuals you admire?
Oh, yeah.
Whose journey inspires you?
Mentors can be so valuable.
I've learned so much from my mentors.
Me too.
It's been incredible.
And then we have advisors.
Okay.
Those with specific expertise who can help us navigate certain challenges.
So this could be a lawyer, an accountant, a marketing consultant.
Anyone, really.
With specialized knowledge that can support our growth.
It's about recognizing we don't have all the answers.
We don't.
And seeking out expert guidance.
When needed.
When needed.
We also need our peers.
Yes.
Those who are on a similar journey as us.
They get it.
They offer that support and encouragement and accountability.
Those are the people you can call.
When you're having a tough day.
Yes, and say, oh my gosh, this is so hard.
And they're like, I know, I've been there.
And Montgomery doesn't forget about customers.
Oh, our customers.
They can be our biggest supporters.
They really can.
You know, offering valuable feedback.
And spreading the word about our business.
Those word-of-mouth referrals.
The best kind of marketing.
And to further strengthen this support system concept, Montgomery dives into this idea of a mastermind group.
Mastermind groups are so popular these days.
I know, but I admit I'm still a little unclear on what they are.
So it's more than just socializing.
Yeah.
It's not just exchanging business cards.
Right.
It's a structured group of individuals who come together to support each other's growth.
So it's like having your own personal board of advisors.
Yes, all invested in each other's success.
Okay.
And he provides a framework for running an effective group.
Okay.
Emphasizing a clear purpose.
Okay.
Established ground rules.
Great.
And a skilled facilitator.
To keep everyone on track.
Yes. And one of the key benefits is that diverse perspective.
Yeah.
And feedback from other successful individuals.
And that brings us to the 11th F fundamental.
Hit me with it.
Craving feedback.
Oh, feedback.
Feedback.
This can be a tough one.
It can be.
Especially for us creative types.
It's so easy to take it personally.
I know, even when it's well-intentioned.
Right. But Montgomery encourages us to see it as a gift.
A gift.
A valuable source of information.
Okay.
For growth.
I like that shift in perspective.
From defensiveness to curiosity.
Yeah.
And he outlines 4 types of feedback.
Okay, let's hear them.
Positive, negative, constructive, and balancing.
All right, so positive feedback can boost morale.
It feels good.
But it doesn't always highlight areas for improvement.
Right. And negative feedback can be harsh and unproductive if it's just criticism without solutions.
Right. Right.
No one likes that. So constructive feedback is where the real gold is.
Okay.
It's that criticism coupled with suggestion.
Improvement.
Yes. It gives us those actionable steps.
Yeah, we can take.
We can actually do something with it.
Exactly. It's about focusing on solutions, not just dwelling on problems.
And then there's balancing feedback.
Balancing feedback. Okay.
Which is the feedback we get from our own intuition.
Oh, that inner voice.
Yes, our self-awareness.
That's that gut feeling.
Yes, those nudges that tell us if something's working or not.
I think we all have that.
Yeah, it helps us stay true to our vision.
To make sure we're on the right path.
And to help us elicit valuable feedback from others.
Oh.
Montgomery offers 2 simple but powerful questions.
I'm ready.
Okay, the first one.
All right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate?
Okay, I like that.
Whatever it is you're seeking feedback on.
So it gives you a measurable...
Yes, quantifiable.
Response.
And then the second question is even more powerful.
Right.
If it's not a 10, what could we do to make it a 10?
Oh, I like that.
So good.
Focusing on solutions.
Solutions.
So these questions can be used to gather feedback on any aspect of your business.
Your product, your service, your customer service, your marketing,
It's such a simple framework
It is.
for getting those conversations started.
And extracting those insights.
And even when the feedback is tough to hear, Montgomery emphasizes responding gracefully, acknowledging the feedback.
Thanking them for their honesty.
Keep those lines of communication open.
Even when it's uncomfortable.
It's not always easy.
No, but we can still learn from it.
Absolutely.
And use it to make those informed decisions.
This approach cultivates a culture
of continuous improvement.
Which is the focus.
Of the 12th fundamental, constant, and never-ending improvement.
That sounds like a marathon, not a sprint.
It is. Building a successful business is a journey,
not a destination.
Montgomery emphasizes that it's about constantly striving to improve.
Even when things are going well.
Even when things are going
Not about achieving perfection, but about embracing that process.
Of growth.
He
introduces this Japanese philosophy called Kaizen.
Okay.
Which focuses on making small improvements over time.
So not those big sweeping changes, but those consistent daily actions.
That compound over time.
Small hinges swing big doors.
Yes, and he illustrates this beautifully.
How so?
With a story of a woman who over decades planted over 50,000 daffodil bulbs on her property, one bulb at a time.
Wow.
The result was this breathtaking display of beauty.
I can imagine.
That drew visitors from all over.
That's a really powerful reminder.
It is that even the smallest actions, when done consistently,
can yield amazing results.
You don't have to do it all at once.
You can make progress one step at a time.
So to implement this philosophy, Montgomery suggests asking yourself 5 key questions.
Okay.
After completing a task.
All right.
How can I make this better?
Okay.
How can I do this more efficiently? How can I do this more profitably? How can we better serve our customers?
Good one.
And how can we provide more value to more people?
Those questions encourage us to evaluate our work.
Constantly.
Yeah, looking for ways to improve.
To streamline and add value.
He also emphasizes that creating this habit of continuous improvement requires motivation, energy, and the right environment.
Those are the key ingredients.
Motivation is our why.
The driving force.
And energy fuels our actions.
In the right environment, whether that's a decluttered workspace or supportive relationships, sets us up for success.
It's about removing those obstacles and creating an environment that fosters growth.
He actually shares a personal anecdote about making healthier choices on the road.
Okay.
By packing his own snacks.
Good idea.
And avoiding gas stations.
Filled with tempting treats.
So it's not about relying on willpower alone.
Right.
But about making it easier to make healthy choices by changing your environment.
So we can apply this principle to any habit.
Especially in our businesses.
Exactly.
Wow, we've covered so much ground in this episode.
I know, from mindset and goals to marketing and finances, team building and self-care.
All these fundamentals
are interconnected.
Weaving together this beautiful tapestry.
To create this holistic approach.
To building a business that's not just profitable,
but fulfilling and sustainable.
And that brings us to Montgomery's 13th and final fundamental. Maintaining balance.
Balance, the elusive dream.
We're all striving for it.
But it can be so hard.
Montgomery acknowledges that balance is not a fixed destination.
It's a process.
It's an ongoing process of adjusting and recalibrating.
It's not about achieving perfect equilibrium.
Right, but finding a rhythm that works for you.
Exactly, and he highlights 3 key principles.
For maintaining that balance.
For maintaining balance, okay.
Embracing responsibility. Focusing on what we can control. And utilizing the E+A Express formula.
Okay, let's break this down.
So embracing responsibility is about taking ownership.
Of our choices and their consequences.
We're in the driver's seat of our lives and our businesses.
And we have the power to shape the outcomes.
And focusing on what we can control is equally important.
It is letting go of the things we can't influence.
Like the economy, other people's choices.
We can't control those things.
Instead, we direct our energy towards
our thoughts, our actions, our decisions.
The things we can impact.
Absolutely. And utilizing that E+A Faculty's formula reminds us that our actions create our results.
We can't always control the events.
No.
But we can control how we respond.
Yeah.
It's about taking responsibility for the outcomes we create.
Montgomery also reminds us that success is cyclical.
Not linear.
It's a continuous loop of planting, preparing, and pollinating.
There will be times of growth and expansion.
Followed by those periods of contraction and introspection.
The ebb and flow.
Exactly.
It's not about avoiding the low points, but understanding they are a natural part of the journey.
And by embracing this cyclical nature,
we can navigate those challenges with more grace.
And resilience.
It takes the pressure off trying to be on all the time.
Yeah.
And allows us to embrace that ebb and flow.
A natural ebb and flow.
Of the entrepreneurial journey.
And to support us in this journey, Montgomery encourages us to revisit these fundamentals.
Use them as guideposts.
For growth and improvement.
Not to master once and for all.
Right.
But to serve as a toolkit.
That we can draw upon.
Throughout our journey as entrepreneurs.
It's about constantly learning, adapting, evolving.
As our businesses grow and change.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Aaron Montgomery's fundamentals of business success, I'm curious to hear your final thoughts. What's the one key takeaway you'd like our listeners to carry with them?
You know, for me, it's that emphasis on building a business that's not just profitable, but deeply fulfilling. It's a reminder that success isn't just about the numbers, but about creating a life and a business that we genuinely love.
So true. In today's hustle and grind culture, it's easy to get caught up in chasing those external markers of success, you know, the big revenue numbers or the fancy title.
Yeah, we lose sight of our why.
Exactly. Those reasons why we set out on this entrepreneurial journey in the first place. And Montgomery's framework brings us back to those core values, reminding us that joy and fulfillment are essential metrics of success, not just the profit margins.
And he gives us a practical roadmap. You know, blending that strategic planning with the emotional and personal aspects of running a business.
Yeah, it's about aligning our work with our values, pursuing our passions, and ultimately making a positive impact on the world.
I'm walking away with a renewed sense of purpose and a whole toolkit of strategies to implement in my own business.
That's great to hear. And remember, it's not about trying to do everything at once. You know, just choose one area that resonates with you and start there. Small, consistent actions like we learned from that daffodil garden story can lead to extraordinary results over time.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, we want to hear from you what resonated with you most from this deep dive.
What's one specific area you're committing to working on?
Share your progress, your challenges, those aha moments.
Connect with us on social media, send us an email, or leave a comment on the show notes.
Let's build a community of thriving and fulfilled entrepreneurs, all supporting each other on this incredible journey.
Until next time, keep diving deep, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building businesses that you truly love.
That's it for this deep dive. See you next time.